Hello everyone, good morning, good evening or good afternoon. Hope you're all doing well. I've got this as a slightly different setup today because when I was looking back, I might change my overlay because I would like it to be just a little bit more of the screen showing, to be honest. So that would be good. I'm just going to double check that that's not going to cause issues. I'm hoping you can still hear the Spotify music, or has that gone off now that I've turned that off? Hang on. Or you can't hear the Spotify music anyway, maybe. Let us see, let us see. You might not be able to hear my music at all. Why is that happening? Ah well, we don't mind a bit of scuff. Maybe it was just that it was too low. There we go, that might work. Anyway, sorry about that. Today we are going to get on with rendering. So that is making shadows, making light spots, kind of adding extra depth to the drawing. And if we get that done quick-ish, I say quick-ish, it'll probably take me a couple hours. We could also potentially get on with lining this other drawing that I've got going. And yeah, I can't keep those up. Oh well. So for now, let's go back in. So her hair color is on this layer. I can go in. But do I want to start with the petals? What would I want to do? I want to do top down, or do I want to do bottom up? Let's merge those down. That's like majority line art. Yeah, let's go with hair color. It's easier. So I'm just going to go in, select the color, and then we're going to go down to a slightly darker green, and up to a slightly lighter bluey green for the highlights and the shadows. And obviously zooming in, you can see where I might have not been as neat as I could have been, but again, that can all be fixed as we go. So what do I want to go with for a brush? What would be cool? See, that's got a cool texture to it. It's way too big, way too big. And I also quite like this one if I shrink it down a bit, because it's a nice smooth kind of line. Ooh, back. Ooh, not that far back. Well, there's a scratchy brush, which again, a lot of these brushes have texture, and I'm just using Fire Alpaca, which is a free program, which is really good for if you're just getting started or if you're just kind of drawing casually, which is more what I do. Like, I don't do commissioned work or anything, so that's all good. I'm just gonna double check something. Bum, 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 bum. Just double checking something. But yeah, could even go with oil paint. Again, that's got a fun colour to it. Not colour, texture. Hang on a minute. Bum 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 bum. Yeah. Okay. I don't know what's going on there then. Oh well. Might stick with this one for now. This one looks fun, funky, cool. Just gonna go in. And I don't think I'll add too much shadow to this piece. It's more in the bits where it's going to be very obviously darker, because I'm imagining that the light source is kind of head on. So it's not really going to have too much shadow. Like I know a lot of other drawings, it would be a light source coming from the side, so you'd have darker shadows like here, on the other side of the nose, on that side of the face. But here it's more going to be shadows where things like the flowers are, where there might be folds in something, like especially the flower down the bottom. But for her hair, honestly, because it's more leaves, however, I don't think it needs too much. Like even the stuff that I'm putting in, I'll probably go back over and cover up a bit. Just gonna turn that down, that's quite a loud song. But yeah, I think I prefer the setup I've got today because I don't have to worry about accidentally showing other screens when I click off to do other things. Dun, dun, dun. I hope everyone's having a good day. I had quite a nice day yesterday. I went to visit my family. It was my nan's birthday, so went to see her, see how she's doing. Obviously met up with my siblings as well, so all of us went down. And it's always a fun time because then I get to bully my siblings because I'm an amazing sister. I get to be the favourite child, obviously, because I'm the middle child and middle children are always the favourite. This is the joke. This is a joke. But it is quite easy to bully my older sister because she's very dramatic. We're both quite dramatic, but she is like, oh, I can't believe you've said that to me. Oh, yeah. And I'm just like, proper gremlin. And I might actually want to go back in and do some darker bits there. Dun, dun, dun. There we go, there we go. And I've got a bunch of other art I want to sort of do, but it's quite a busy week at work, so I don't know how much time I'll be able to put aside for fan art and things that I want to get on and draw. But I'm really hoping I can do at least one or two pieces that are not exactly time sensitive, but it's like I'd like to get them done before a certain event, which I know some people who are watching will know what I mean. But I don't want to mix two lives, so I'm gonna try not to be like, oh yeah, I'll use this as a thing to talk about constantly. Wait, no, I don't want to do that yet. I'm too impatient. I'm like, oh, I'll go from this, and then I'll go to this, and then I'll go to this. It's like, no. You want to do one thing at a time. There we go. And then I got to read a really cute manga the other day. It was the one that it's about a detective agency, and the main characters are a blind girl and her boss, who is a detective who is also an invisible man. But no one else, when he's fully invisible, can tell where he is in the office. But because she's blind, she's got heightened senses. So she can be like, oh, he's over there, or oh, she recognised that he was bleeding or hurt. And it was really cute, because then they start dating, because it's like a romancy one. But it's like, you know from the beginning, that's not spoilers, you know from the beginning, they're getting together. Of course they're getting together. It wouldn't be a romance manga without some romance. La da da. There we go. And then I'm gonna go in, because that will be on which line art? Where's the line art for that one? Hairline, there we go. Gonna go in on that one. Gonna zoom and get a that pen and get that, and just kind of go over some of these bits just slightly. I don't mind too much if it's got a little gap, it's just when it's a very obvious, oh, there's a line through this line, where it's a bit obvious. Cool. Right, and onto the flowers, and we'll do the same thing again of pick color, pick the same color, and then we move slightly down to the cooler tones or warmer tones, and up to a lighter tone. And we'll find our oil brush again. And this time I'm going to try and have the insides of the petals be darker, because obviously they're kind of going to be hidden behind, like there's going to be shadows here. Just slowly go around, do all of those. To get them with some variations of tone. And I know some people, when they're doing their rendering, before they even put the flats in, I believe they go in with the grayscale to get like the very obvious lighting sources. I'm far too impulsive, so I just go in with however I feel like it, and then change it as I go, because I'm like, that doesn't look quite right. I'm gonna go again and again and again, just to get it just so. Sometimes I can spend hours and hours on a piece of art and go, still don't like it, or I can spend 5 minutes on something and be like, it's funny, and then it ends up being one of my favorite pieces. So it really depends. I don't think there's much stock put into it. It's just whatever works. I live a very c'est la vie lifestyle. It's like, it is what it is. It is what it is. I don't really mind too much either way. And then we'll do the same on this side, just to make sure that we definitely keep the same colour, because obviously sometimes I go in, move stuff around. I don't want the two sides to be too different. But yeah, I love seeing all the different art styles people have, because some people do an amazing realistic style, some people do a really amazing cartoony style, a wonderful, I keep saying wonderful, a fantastic, a brilliant, a lovely kind of personalized style. And it's like watching their process and like, how do you do this? How do you do this? And they do it completely different to me. And then obviously some people do a similar thing to each other and get wildly different results. Then others do a wildly different thing and get a similar result to someone else. So it all depends on your skill level and how you apply certain things, I reckon. I may end up changing the colour of the flowers again, because I'm not 100% sure on the colour, but again that's as we go. And I feel like I tend to pick a lot of the same colours, like she's got purple flower petals, a very light purple bodysuit, kind of her skin tone is kind of grey but also kind of light purple. And then the only other colour is the green. So I don't know if I might change her skin colour to more of a green to make it stand out more. But then it would be green with green with green with green with green. And whether it would be better to then pick something more this colour, because then that would match these. But then would it contrast too much with the purple? Or be too complementary with the purple and just kind of wash the rest of it out? So that's what I need to figure out my colour theory. Going with this, going with this. And I think my music stopped for some reason, so I'm just going to go double check that. Oh no, I just took the wrong headphone out, that's why. Ha 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 ha. Ho 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 ho. I'm so funny. I take the wrong headphone out and go, oh my god, my music stopped working. Whoops. Ah well. Yeah. Then I'm going to go in with a slightly lighter one, maybe a little more opaque, but maybe a little bigger. And then, even with the light heading towards her, I want just some lighter bits, maybe just on these edges. Make it like there's a torch, so torch shining this way, but anything more over here is going to catch some light on the edges of the leaves, but not as much on these sides, like maybe just a little on the tip. Just the tip. Yeah. And it might be a good idea to go in with a lighter brush on certain parts of the line art as well, just to make that stand out a bit more. And I might even go in with an even lighter, maybe a slightly different brush, because that's not quite showing up as much as I was hoping it would. There we go, that's showing up a wee bit more. That's better. That's what we're looking for. Oh, and then the thing with my switch, I did put it on Twitter, but I've got an adapter block to connect it to my monitor, and it does work, at least the connector does, but when I was test trying it earlier, the HDMI cable would make it so the switch screen shows on my monitor, and the home button of my Switch controllers would put it to the home screen, but the A-B buttons and the D-pad and Joy-Cons and everything else, it just was not picking up on, which I thought was rather strange. So I'm gonna be troubleshooting that, because I would really love to play Night in the Woods, because that is quite a cool, fun little game with an interesting storyline that I think you guys would enjoy, and I obviously enjoy. I get to attempt to do some more character voices. Whether they're good is entirely up to you, but we'll see. I like the main character Mayday the most, because she's very much like me, or they're very much like me. Very chaotic gremlin. She's always fun to play. And then their best friend, or a few best friends, Gregory and B. And there's a very stylized kind of little game. And then there's different bits to it. There's kind of a mystery, kind of a, like, I wouldn't really say roguelike, but maybe. And also there's a bit of rhythm game, because May plays the guitar or the bass. So, got to be able to play along, which I'm not amazing at, but it's still fun. Like, I usually just do things for the fun of it, to be honest. Don't have to be good, just gotta have a laugh. Just for a little giggle, innit? And yeah, I might go in on the line art as well. So not that one. Headline, yeah. So again, add a page, clip it down, then add some. It's not going to stay this light. I am going to kind of blur it out, add some of the other tones to it. Just around the same points where it's got some shine. And then the same where it's still a bit dark. I'll move it up a little, move that down a little, and move that round a little. And then the hairline does not include the flower line, so I don't have to worry about accidentally getting the wrong colour all over those, because that would be quite frustrating. And then we're going to go in with the blur, nice and big. Just kind of blur that a bit, just so it's got some highlighty bits, but they're not too obvious. Because again, it'll be more around the face, and then these other areas doesn't matter so much. Cool. And then again with the flower line, bibbidi boop, bobbidi beep. Beep bop ba doop bop, and Bob's your uncle. And I don't actually have an Uncle Bob. I don't know where the saying came from, but it's quite fun. Oh, and then, oh, did I do? Oops. I did that on the wrong layer. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, biggity bobbity bugger. Oh well. Again, c'est la vie. It is what it is. We cannot change it. Why worry? Why worry about it? Then we got some lighter points here, here, here. So it's like da 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 da, follows along, da 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 da, follows along. Wherever there's light points along the petal, just add in a little bit extra. Like me, you know, just a little extra. We'll see how we go. And same on the other side. What else do I want to talk about? Oh, I think I was talking about Night in the Woods because I was going to say, if I don't manage to get my Switch up and running, I was thinking of doing a reading stream instead. And the book I was going to read was Howl's Moving Castle, because again, it's one of my favourites. I've got a paperback copy, and it should be in the public domain. So, here's hoping that I can read it without any troubles, without people going, that's not allowed. But it should be. I'll double check before I do it. But I'd really enjoy doing that. And then, if I can learn how to edit videos or edit audio a bit better, I wouldn't mind adding in like fire crackly sounds whenever doing Calcifer's voice, or adding in the wind whenever they're in the wind, or up on the moors, just adding in some kind of Foley effects. I found a good site to legally pay for like a, it's not a copyright, is it copyright? Effectively just pay a subscription to be able to use their sounds, and then you can prove that you've paid for this and it's not going to cause issues. Because I don't want to step on anyone's toes. I want to do this as pain-free as possible. So I just want to, I'll just be extra cautious about it. But if not, I can try and record my own sounds, because we do have a fireplace. And then just be like, yep, this is something I recorded, it's fully mine. No one can say, sorry, that fire sound 3.5 was actually mine. I'd be like, excuse you, but I've got the master file, so flips hair. Right, that's probably enough of that, unless I want to add some darker bits. Maybe some darker bits. I did say these ones would be a bit darker over that side. I'm just being messy with it, honestly. I'm sure there's someone who's a better artist than I watching this and going, why are you doing it that way? That's such a weird way to do it. I'm like, I'm just experimenting, honestly, at this point. Because I feel like it is quite possible to over-render things. But this one's just going to be a drawing that I'll have possibly as part of my schedule art. But other than that, it's just kind of practice, kind of having fun with it, seeing what works well, etc., etc. Where's that green bit coming from? I don't even have the sketch layer underneath on. It's not this one. Not that one. And it's not... Is that on a line? Maybe. No. Ni. Just rename that back to necklace, because for some reason whenever I merge down it gets rid of the thing that I've typed in. No. Very odd. Yeah, there's nothing above. But then why is it not letting me paint over that one? Do I just need to do it with that? Oh yeah, I might just need... Oh, well. Well, as it is. Ooh, actually, that's the point. Be helpful if I was on the right layer for it, wouldn't it? Back down to it. There we go. Cool. I thought I went over all the other details so I didn't have any weird bits like this, but maybe I didn't. Maybe I was just in a rush at that point to get the flats down. So let's just clean that up a little bit. Just have a little go around of everything. Yeah, I must have been in a bit of a rush. I missed a lot of this. Around the hands. Oop. Or does it really matter? No, it's underneath that, so that's fine. Oop, 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 oop. And then, actually, this might make a loud sound. I'm just going to move my mic slightly, just so it's a bit more in front of me as I'm speaking, just so it might pick up my voice a bit clearer. Because of where I've got my stuff set up, it's a bit cramped. And I think eventually I'm going to invest in a boom arm or something, just so I can have it closer to my face. I don't have to lean awkwardly to see either my microphone or my screen. I think the recommendation is to have it about this far from your face, but I'm worried that I might be peaking my mic too much if I do that. So, I want to give you the best quality possible, but I'd probably need someone to tell me, teach me. I'm a quick learner, so if someone taught me, I think I'd pick it up rather quick. But I'm just, I suppose, a little nervous. I don't want to cause anyone's ears to bleed because I'm getting too close to my microphone, peeking it out, and it's making an awful, awful crunchy noise. Oops, that's way too big. That's what she said. Oop. Yeah. And then I'm possibly going to ask some friends if they have any other game recommendations if I can't get my Switch running, of what I could download from Steam. Because at the moment on Steam, I think I've only really got Volcano Princess. I've got Octodad, which I'm planning on playing later on in the week, or in fact I think I've put it down for tomorrow, which again is potentially going to be a bit painful because I haven't played on PC in a while, and I remember the controls for that one are a little bit wacky, but pain can also be quite funny, so we'll see how it goes. I've got March Forest, but again I haven't played that all that much because my laptop that I had before, that I was using to game on before, broke on me, which is why I had to invest in a PC in the first place. Well, a PC because I also wanted to attempt streaming, but it was a good reason, like another good excuse to be like, oh, I can actually get on and play the games that I downloaded like a year ago. What other game do I have actually, to be fair? I think I've got Stardew Valley, and I've got Boop, 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 boop. Oh, I've got Don't Starve and Don't Starve Together. Those are the only other ones I've got. I thought I'd downloaded more, but I don't think it ended up downloading, or I might have gone, oh well, I'll wait till I've got something a bit better to stream on and play on. Oop. Again, sorry for the noise, if there's any noise. There we go. Back to the hair colour. Just turn that off for a minute. Get that. Just because I did notice a little gap. Ooh, or is that with something else? Is that with the it's with the line art? I see. We're just gonna whoop. Or is that back you fiend. Oh, and I want to go in with a hard eraser, not a soft eraser. There we go. That's better, that's better. And I suppose, would people prefer if I spoke a little slower and a little clearer and in my not really posh person voice, but just more, received pronunciation, just so it's a little bit easier to understand what I'm saying? Because I know sometimes I slip more into an accent where it's harder to understand. What do I want to do now? I might go on with her skin, and I might change her skin colour. That's cloves, skin colour, there we go. Let's go up to hue. Might even zoom, or actually cancel then. Zoom out a bit so I can see the whole, like all the other colours with it. So that's going slightly more pink. Let's go more to an orange, go to more yellow, and then to more of a green, which is what I was debating. I don't think I hate that all that much. That could work. The only trouble is I've done all my thumbnails with it as a more purple skin tone. But the green, like especially that green, well, if we saturate it a bit more. Then that's more yellow, that's more green. But yeah, I quite like it desaturated. How about brightness, or is that just going to make it white? Yeah, that's going to make it more white. Nah. I think I do quite like the green. But that means I'll have to change all my little sprites that I've got here. You see my mouse when I do that? I don't think you can. Or, yeah, you should be able to. It just disappears when I go to OBS. Okay. Cool. But yeah, my little sprites I might need to change if I do make her more green. Let's debate on it. It matches more with the flower theme, to be fair. But then, would it work with the little thumbnail? Where's my little thumbnail? My little thumbnail. Add a little clipping mask. Take a sample. And this is going to look messy, but bloop, bloop. And then obviously the gaps between, oops, there we go. You know what? I think that does work slightly better. But I've also already done a few thumbnails where she's more purpley. Whoops. Because I'm making her more of a greeny green. Does that work? Or does that look a little too... See, I think it could work. Which is a little bit of a pain because I have already done stuff. Oh dear. Ah well. Ah well, ah well, ah weel, ah well. If it works, it works. That's the thing. Yeah, because the pink I think is going to look too saturated there. Actually, yeah, so if I did have it down, not quite. Hang on. Loop. Background. And yeah, that's still too much of a weird colour for... Yeah, that's too weird. That's too off. The green, however, does work. Even with the slightly darker green. Does that one work? That's more of a bluey green. It's an interesting one. But then, no, that's too similar to her hair colour, to be fair. So it needs to be more of the yellowy green. That adds enough contrast that it's not too same. Oops. Oh, well. A wheel, oh well. I'm gonna undo for now. Lots of undoing. Hopefully it undoes enough. There we go. And I'm going to go onto the skin color layer, and I'm going to add in just a little sample dot of the potential skin color that I did like for her. And we move it down and down. Ooh. To get the darker tone. And then up a bit, and up a bit for a lighter tone. Or we could go the opposite and go up for a darker tone. Just to see what works better, really, because then that one is probably more likely to be a better highlight. That's too similar. Dude and dude. So that'll be a harsher highlight, but that might work. Because then those are more fun colours and these ones are a bit more, maybe more muted. They're like, they could work. So I'll put potential. But for now, we will move down, down, and opposite side, go up and up. We're on the skin color layer, the extra layer, going in with our oil painter, and just really, ooh, wrong one. Again, if it's going to have light facing right on her, there's not going to be much room for shadow. Just where there'd be some more obvious, harsher shadows. Like around here, on that side, on that side. Maybe not there, but again, I'll fix that. Then maybe like the hair. Maybe a little bit. She's got slightly hooded eyes. And by she, I mean me. I've got hooded eyes. I've got beautiful, potentially green or purple skin. Yeah. A little bit there, just because. Yeah, that's looking nice. Just gonna check another thing. There we go. Cool. Then gonna go back in with a highlight. That kind of also works as a blush. Not gonna lie. The nose to highlight. The lips. And again, I know I'm gonna put makeup over, but just to kind of get a general idea. There we go. There we go. And I kind of want to give her some funky colors, because like I said, the little sprite is going to be the kind of one. I'll probably keep that one, mostly flats, to be fair, because it makes it stand out a bit more, especially getting against any that are similar style. And this one is just going to be like a practice art, figure out her style, her colors as we go. So we could potentially go in with a slightly darker or lighter purple, just to go back over the darker spots. Yeah, that works. That adds a bit extra, a little extra dimension. It's gonna get a little weird, gonna get a little wild. Can you guess what I might have been slightly inspired by? Sorry, I know I make a lot of kind of noises, but I kind of just do it as a reaction, like involuntary reaction. But otherwise I feel like I'm just too quiet, so I want to keep some noise going, because obviously constant noise is good content, right? I'm joking. But like I said, I'm still quite new to streaming, so I want to figure out a good way to keep people entertained, even if you just kind of keep me on in the background, just as an extra like noise machine. If you don't have a noise machine, you can get a free one with me, Aelder. Alright. I'm just gonna adjust my mic because I did notice it was peaking a bit there, which was weird. So if I get up a little bit closer before I change anything, does this affect anything? Like, does it make it very fuzzy? Just gonna get some hair, cat hair. Cat hair gets everywhere. Cat hair everywhere. Yeah, I think if I turn my mic down a little, or I might need to adjust my filters. Sorry, again, scuff, just let's try to sort things out as I go. Might change the gain down a little bit. The suppression level should be fine, the noise gate should be perfectly fine. I think it's just my compressor that's messing me up a little bit and just like making it so it's a bit harder, because I don't want the gain to be too much, because that was when I was getting that horrible fuzzy like shh noise, and I find that quite annoying when I'm listening. I don't think it bothers too many other people, it's just me. But then if I have my gain down too far, I don't think you can really hear me. So this is at minus 0.30. We'll see how well that works for now. Do I turn the Spotify music down even further? How about that? Does that work better, or does that just kind of make me sound, again, a little crunchy, little bit cruncher? Because I want myself to be a fairly clear sound. Gonna give her some pink, or actually I think, I think I actually wanted to give her some darker, more purple dark tips of her fingers. I think that would look quite fun, funky and fresh. Oh, would it be quite funny actually to give her a ba-dum-tsh green thumb? She got a green thumb because, you know, she's a flower. So yeah, funny joke. I'm joking. I laugh at my own jokes too much, I think. Let's delete that. It's either that or the green thumb would work. It would just need to be a less saturated green. And don't worry, they're not going to stay like this. I am going to blur them out. And I immediately went back to my lower tone rather than trying to keep with my received pronunciation. But also this way, I sound a little bit like a robot. So I don't know how well that would really work. Let's go. How are you today? I feel like I should have more hardware. Could I get an upgrade? But no, I'm not a robot. I'm a flower. So I need some fertilizer. And let's go around, see how well it would work with green. Try it with different. See for that, or again, just keep the thumbs green. Or I might just go with a slightly darker purple. And blur that out. Maybe. Oops. Oil paint. Going with that. Again, I'm just messing around, so this I might end up going, you know what, nah. And then delete all of it. Oopsie, don't want to do that. Want to go up. Want to blur that out. Blur it out. And then I might go back in just to get it back to the lines. Ooh, no, that's far too much. There we go. And do I want to try smudging? And boopity 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 boo. And then imagine if it then spread further down her hand. Does it just end up looking more like a glove instead of that is like her skin tone? Might end up having to do this on another layer if I do want to have it as a thing. Like have some kind of viney, if I make it smaller, some viney bits. And a curling. Could work. Yeah. Then go back in with that and add in the dark shadowy bits that we had added in earlier. Especially around the tips of the fingers. So I feel like that if I could make it look like it's her skin tone, that makes her definitely more otherworldly. Rather than, oh yeah, looks very humanoid, like they're meant to look. Alraunes are meant to look humanoid, but obviously still be more monster girly. Yeah. Doing good. How are we doing for time? Oh, I've already been at this for an hour. I have complete time blindness, I swear. I lose track because I just get absorbed in whatever I'm working on. Oop. Another idea for a stream I had in the future, potentially, was if I can do a collab. Like, I've got a friend who streams, but he mainly streams on Twitch. Or if I could get a collab with other fellow independent streamers, is either, I don't know if it counts as like Gartic Phone, because that's like people drawing together, but you know what you used to do, or I remember doing as a kid, where you have, if I zoom out a bit, go over here a bit, oops, and if I was on a thing that wasn't clipped, so you've got a piece of paper, or you know what, we can do one better. I can go like this, that, the other. There we go, boom, piece of paper. And then someone draws the head of something. And they only draw the head, maybe a little bit of the neck. But then they can do whatever they want with the head. They could add big old cow horns. They could add little horns. They could add big old teethers. Make them looking really funky cool. Maybe some PN eyes, just PN. And however long they want the hair to be, they could even add the hair up to a certain point. And then you fold it in half. Where's my lines layer? You fold it in half. And then the next person, without looking at that top layer, they only get to see like the edge of the neck. And then they do like their body that they want to do for it. So then they could potentially do it again as a beautiful, very curvaceous, oh, so curvaceous lady. So realistic proportions. Do 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 do. Da, 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 da. This is, I'm spending a lot of time doing this as well. But again, they only go up to the hips. So they can spend all the time they want. They can give her, let's say, give her a tank top. Tank top. They could even give her flame powers. You know, just make it cool. They could even add some wings. Sometimes it like just shows the shoulders, like do the shoulders, and then someone else does the middle half of the body. But usually it was like someone did the head, someone did the kind of torso and arms. And then again, it gets folded in half, and the people who go after this, they don't see these bits. They only see the lines that come poking out. So they're like, oh, to add on to that. And then the person who's doing the legs could then go, this is actually going to be an octopus person who's going to have many kind of weird legs, but then obviously still needs enough of the thing to be poking down. So then they can say, oh, well, these are the legs. Because then whoever's doing the next bit would still need to have a little bit of a line to know what to do for the feet. And then whoever's doing the feet could go, oh, well, the feet are gonna be in some really cool, really not clown footage rocket boots. boom, 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 boom. Maybe they're flying like this. And then at the end, it gets revealed, the whole thing. But I thought that could be quite a fun idea, because then it's like, see what people come up with creatively. And then again, something that me and my friends used to do was, obviously whoever started with the head, like you'd have like 4 of these going at a time or more, however many people were in the group. And whoever did the head would then carry on their character on the next piece of paper. So it's like they'd go, well, I had a bull person, so when I draw the torso of another person's thing, they're going to carry on being a bull person, and then the legs, etc., etc., and it keeps going. And whoever did the octopus would be like, oh, well, then they'd have octopus arms and like a squid head and like maybe more tentacles as the feet, just to keep it in going. But yeah, and then at the end, you could then create your character in their full form by cutting it all up and obviously mixing and matching, and you get loads of really interesting character designs out of that. So I thought that could be quite fun. And then a lead on from that is me and my friends also play D&D, so we could say, oh, our weird amalgamation characters could be part of a D&D campaign where they've like been kidnapped and put on an alien spaceship or something. Like, I know that's more sci-fi rather than traditional D&D, but bear with me. But yeah, and then they've got to play as their weird amalgamation character who are trying to get back to their original form. And it's like doing weird challenges to swap themselves back round. But anyway, that's just a random idea that I think could be fun if I had people to stream with. Beep boop beep boop beep. But that's for the future. Let's carry on with what I was doing. Let's do rendering of the clothes, because done the flowers, done the skin color, added my weird skin gloves. Actually, I want to do more on her nose. I don't like how that nose is looking. That's looking a little bit, what do you call it? Bad nose job. Smudge. Gotta use the smudgy smudge. But I don't want to use it too much because it does get rid of the texture. So it's like spending all that time on texture and then not actually being able to see any of the texture. Beep boop beep boop beep beep beep. There we go. Yup. And I also forgot to render her, or not render, add in her eye makeup and lip makeup and cool colors, which I might do as an extra clippy layer. And then this is where I can make it like I'm actually doing makeup rather than just adding paint to a picture. But obviously it's easier doing it like this, then if I mess you up, it's not too bad to just go in with an eraser to make it more like how I want it. There we go. Not quite smoky eye, but you know what I mean. And with a slightly, very slightly lighter purple. And then even lighter over the top of that. And then even lighter and over to the pink. And then we're gonna go down and find What does that look like? Ooh. Oh, that's kind of cute. Small. Make it look like she's got glittery eyeshadow. Make that look funky. Quite fun. And then we're gonna go back up to our oil marker. Gonna go back down to more of a dark blue color. Maybe even darker than that. What's like that and like that and down from there. There we go. Because then we're not really using black, it's more the dark blues, the purples, keeping it so it doesn't muddy it up too much. But obviously I'll use black as a really nice eyeliner. Or do I want to smudge? Smudge. Because I used to do that when I was first drawing. Being like, oh, well, shadows are black. So obviously you'd use black to do your shadows. And then it ended up making it look like it wasn't necessarily bad. It just could have been better. There's always improvements to be made. There we go. I keep saying constantly improve yourself. If you think it looks like you're not happy with how it looks, maybe watch some videos on how other people do their art and be like, oh, well, if they do theirs that way, I want to try doing mine that way because I like how theirs ends up looking. Not copying them, but be inspired. It's good to get inspired by your fellow artists. And we're gonna go back in with that purpley color, make it purplier, and we're gonna go in with the watercolor brush. No, blurry, no, not this one, not that one. I think this watercolor flat brush, and we're gonna go on the other layer. Yeah. To give her some luscious painted lips. And they might not be painted. Maybe she just ate a lot of berries. Maybe she just really likes eating blackberries. Or brambleberries, as I sometimes call them. Ooh. No, that's too much. Ooh. Be-doop. There we go. And then where is... because them teethers are going above. Which means I'm missing a bit on the skin layer. So then we go back to the skin color. Or is it just that the line art's gone a bit weird? Where's the line art? Nope, 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 nope. Face. There we go. Is it this one? Huh. Why is that the way that it is? There we go. Maybe doing that. I keep going, oh, I need to do this instead. It's like, no, 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 you were fine. You were fine. And then, yeah, we're gonna do a nice little smudgy smudge. Make it look a bit more natural kind of edges. Because if I do want this to be more her natural lip colour and not a painted on lip colour, I need to make it so it kind of blends in with the skin a bit. Because lips aren't naturally lined with a darker colour or anything. And then I'm gonna go back in with this one, back to the watercolour, blendy brush, make that a bit smaller. Oh, or that's not what I want. Maybe this one? Boop. Boop, 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 boop. Ooh. Maybe I just need to make that a lot smaller than I thought I did. And then back up to blur, 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 blur. Blah 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 blah. Maybe go with a soft eraser. And back with that one. Oop. And maybe also go back in just a wee bit more, make them a little bit bigger so you can actually see them. That's the trouble, I could either over blur it and you can barely see them, but I do want them to be somewhat noticeable. Back to that. And add in some shine line. Make them look a little juicy. But again, that's not really doing what I want it to. But I suppose from a distance it's not too bad. Not too bad. I'm not sure if I like the pink on her nose though. So I might go back in and take that out. Maybe make it more purple. See if that works. And then go back up to her hair color because I forgot to do her brows. Bloop, bloop. Make sure they're fully filled in. And gonna go in with the darker color. Keep it on this one, and then I'm just gonna add in some lines. Oh, I did that mess up. How rude. There we go. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Bloop, 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 bloop. And then go into some darker. Bloop, 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 bloop. Just for some variation. And then pop, pop, pop. Pop, pop, pop. Yeah. Cool, cool, cool. Oh, hang on, just gonna adjust. Cool. And again, may end up going back in with the skin tone layer. Do I want to try some funkier colours? Do I want it to be a darker blue, like dark, dark blue? To make her skin shadow, or that colour, just to make it nah. Oopsie, too far. Is that too far? Boop, boop. I could add it on yet another layer, to be fair, because then I'm not likely to ruin any of the other stuff that I've already done. And some of this can go underneath what I've already done. So if I have it more there, yeah. But then having it underneath that means anything that's on top kind of gets priority. Yeah, you can't really see it like that. That's fine. I can go back in and change the blue to more of a green to cover that up. And because again, I wanted the kind of light source to be head on, so I don't want too many really dark shadows like facing in weird directions. So that's that. I do like the contrast of like the bluer colours. And we could go in with a more greeny green over the blue, just because it doesn't need to be as obvious. Because again, that was something that was quite fun during the D&D campaign. We got onto, there's a really cool artist called Filibuster Frog, and over the past couple of years they've created some really cool D&D concepts. So I think the main one, because we started talking about, oh, how would magic affect our characters? Like if we had one that was a necromancer, like what if they started getting scarring where it's like the body, their own body is starting to decay from the amount of times they use necromancer magic? That could be quite an interesting kind of debuff to dissuade from obviously overusing, becoming kind of murder hobos, or like being like, huh, we're practically gods of this world, why do we need to worry about like the consequences of our actions. Like, consequences, what are those? It's going to be, oh, well, actually, if you use your magic too much, you will have consequences. So you better be keeping that stuff in check, because otherwise the DM is gonna bully you. But it makes it a bit more interesting. And what was the other one? There's like a chrono time one where it's like the eye pupil slowly gets replaced by like a cog or a kind of face of a clock. Obviously things like firebolt, magic missile, leaving kind of burns along the hands and whatever. Psychic scream, if you've been hit by a psychic scream, it's like having the bloom come from the ears. So it's like scarring from the ears, where it's like obviously damaged your ears completely. But then whoever creates the eldritch scream or psychic scream, having their tongue turn black, or like decaying as well, where it's like overuse causes it to break down, because it's like, well, human bodies or a lot of bodies were not created to use magic in that way. It's only because it's like it could be used for war or for fighting or for being vigilantes, etc. But I quite enjoyed that concept, and again, the art is really cool. I'm not sure if they have a Twitter, but they're definitely on Tumblr. Right, now let's go into the clothes. Go lighter, lighter. I might even go to the pinks again. And I want to make her dress or top half. I want to try with the soft pastel. Really? Pastels for spring? How original. Ooh, I don't think I got all... See, that's what I mean. When I was using the fill tool, I'm not sure how much you can tell, but see these kind of... The fill tool leaves these weird gaps along just the inside edge, but it's enough of a gap that you notice, and like I used to only notice after I'd already uploaded it somewhere and been like, oh, bugger. So I'm gonna have to go back in on the clothes layer with the original colour, just with this tool, just because this one I know actually fills it to where I draw. I'm not gonna have weird gaps in my drawing where it decides to just not fill for whatever reason. I'm not sure if other art programs do it, but I think that is one of the downsides of this program, if it's just for some reason the fill tool does not completely fill. Oh, and I managed to miss that. Oops. And it does go over the flower. Oh, hang on. There we go. Double check. Yeah, those as well. Fantastic. So now, didn't want to do that, wanted to do that, and then zoom back in. I can go back down to my soft pastel and shrink it down. Do here, because I was hoping these could look more like ruffles. I might go in, like there's actually a ruffle pen, so I might go in with that because that's an easier way to get them looking how I want them. So if I scroll down to, is it this frill? Yeah, that one. Don't want it that big. And I want it, well, that might be too small. You can't actually tell what it's meant to look like. Actually no, that doesn't really work. I think because I've got this on a very small canvas, it's like it can add the frills and make them look nice. Or was I just doing it the wrong way around? Hang on. I was doing it the wrong way round. There we go. Yeah, it depends on the brush stroke direction. But again, if they're too small, it doesn't pick up. Bloop. How does that look? Not really much of a difference, honestly. But those are lifesavers. Those make it so much easier to draw things, because sometimes you just don't want to sit and draw individual ruffles. Or there's even one for like drawing loads of books, loads of coins. It just makes it a lot easier. Oh, have I been doing that on the wrong layer? No, that's fine. That's good. Back down to my... Where's my pastel? There's my pastel. Then just gonna make this, I don't know if I want to try and make this look satiny material or whether I want to make this like a really skin type material. I haven't decided yet, because I think it could look nice. Might even get rid of the ruffles. Because I could have it so there's like this kind of thing going on. Like shoo, 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 shoo. Just making like that pattern and then that. Boom, boom, boom. No, that's too much. I want to keep the brush strokes. Blah, 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 blah. Obviously that's not super satiny looking, but just to get a general idea of what it could. I think I need to look at a reference to get it down pat. Hopefully it gets rid of all of these. Oh dear, no it did not. But at least it's on another layer, so I don't have to worry too much about it. Although I was doing those on the wrong layer. Whoopsie daisy. I just picked a whole bunch of whoopsie daisies. Anyway, that's fine, that's fine. We can still save it, we can still work with this. It's not the end of the world. It's just a little bit of an annoyance, that's fine. It's my own fault. Oops. Sorry, I was just adjusting my chair a bit. There we go. Oop, and that's too light a colour. Whoops. Oh, whoop. So I want it more the purpley, purple into the slight pink, but not. See, the pink takes over quite easily. That's still in a more purple tone, but I'd say that's quite a saturated pink for that highlight. And then just gonna see how that looks. Yeah, that looks a bit better. A little bit better. No, I don't think I want to add an extra diamond. I think the harsh lines of the diamond, it's too much. I want her to be soft. But then I don't know how I want this middle bit to go. I don't know if I want there to just be like an extra kind of line, but then that doesn't really work if it's meant to be like a body piece, unless it goes, unless it does just lead down to that and then have lines like that. Maybe could work. And they're both leading more to that. Added another layer and add these ones on top. Maybe have that faded already, so it's not trying to take over. One. Because then as long as I've got it on another layer, I could also carry on making it more of the purpley colour again, rather than this. It's still managing to look more pink. The pink's just trying to take over. I do want it to be more of a purpley colour, so let's see if we can salvage it. There we are, that's looking alright at the very least. Just add it in just so it all merges together. And then filter, hue. That's more pinky, orangey, yellowy, greeny. Pink, more blue, more of a purple colour. That's better. There we are. And do the do 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 do. She's dancing, da, 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 da. But at least she's fairly symmetrical, that's alright. I'm quite liking being able to see those lines on her dress. Yeah, I'm going to delete that layer. That ended up looking a bit wah, but that's fine. Going into her flower now, and I might do a similar thing where it's like you can see the lines. I think I quite like the soft pastel brush. I might try the DP flat, see how well that works. Again, go down for a slightly darker shadowy color, and then up for a lighter highlighter layer. And oops, that one. The one behind is going to be in shadow because it's behind. But we can have a little bit of highlight on the edges, and we could even go in on the line art layer. Add in a clipper and add in the highlights there, which I forgot to do on the skin, but I can do that later. It's fine. And again, I know that there's going to be highlights along these kind of edges, so I can add those in. For now, oops, okay, that's already on the skin layer. And then same again with the darker ones, just darker there, there, and there. And there, there, and there. Do, 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 do. Yeah. Yeah. And then just gonna quickly go back up to the blur, or you can smudge. Oh no, not smudge. Blur, yeah. Blur out of it. Just so these don't take control of the whole line art. I don't want them to be too eye-catching. You're just looking at the lines rather than the whole thing. And I wonder what it would look like with an overlay. I do like how the overlays look usually. Ooh. We'll just keep it normal for now. And back down to our flower. Back down to DP flat. Might be too dark a blue. That might be too much. It's kind of muddied as well. It's not as bright as the pastel-y purple. So if we go back up, and that's more like the original color of the flower, so that probably works a bit better. Ooh, just gonna hold the boop, 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 which I can't do on the back leaf, but at least that's easy enough to kind of go in and add that to it. Cool. And this is just going to be radiating out from the inside of the flower. Those lines are way too straight. There we go. Boop-a-doo. Maybe a bit easier at an angle. And you'd only get a little bit from this side because, again, if whatever light source is going to be coming from this side, and then we're going to add in our highlight, which will be covering up some of that. There we go. Spin it around a little bit. Add in more of our highlight. And again. No, that doesn't look good. That's way too big. I think it just needs to stay kind of like, there you go. Why do I sometimes just completely mess up? Undo, delete your art, delete your art. There we go. Try again. If at first you don't succeed, just try again. And you may be happier with the second result. I might want to add some more. Oh no, that's too dark. I suppose you don't always need the most highlighty highlight to ever highlight. Yeah. It's okay to tone things down sometimes. It doesn't always have to be the most. Cool. Just go back in. It's final one. Beep boop beep boop beep boop beep. And then again. Beep boop beep boop beep boop beep. Going with more, a lighter light, just to catch some extra bits. It doesn't have to be all over. And then, again, I'm doing this without references. It is definitely better to do things with references. I'll probably go back in, find a reference of a flower just to see what works better with darker spots, because I think some dark spots would be concentrated around like these bits in here, around here, around here. Don't really want to go with the dark blue, that wasn't really working, but around here, here, here. I don't want to make it too obvious. I want it to look a bit more natural. Maybe even dark with these bits in the back. Around there. Ooh. Yeah. Around the back. Then I might just lower the opacity just so it's not as woof, not so wah. Up that might even go in some of these bits in here. Just add in a bit more to the very edges. And I know someone is potentially going to say, please don't leave that one little extra bit of the clothes. And it's like, don't worry, I see it, I see it. Oops. Do a slightly harder brush so it doesn't go over. Cool. Going back up to the line art layer. To that bit. Yeah, that bit. So, did it all look alright with the blue? I'm not sure. But either way, I'd also like to go with the green colour. Darker green. There we go. Just to make the hands like their own thing, because I think the purple lines make them look a bit odd. Ooh, definitely need to go darker. Yeah, there we go. Because then that helps make them stand out a wee bit more. Because then they're not just fading into the petals, they're not just fading into the skin colour, they're not. Yeah. And again, I'll need to add in some more to that, which would be down by boopy debut. And because I said down by, I haven't played Baldur's Gate yet, but I've watched a few people play it, and now all I can think is down, down by the river. And that's just going to be stuck in my head for the rest of the evening. Let's get in with that. This one. That's not really doing anything to cover up. I thought that would cover those up a little bit more. Where is that extra coming from? Not there, not there, Oh, there's something above the skin color layer. That's, unless that is the skin color and I'm just being a little bit silly. I was just being a little bit silly. A little bit goofy, as it were. That's what I mean. Again, I keep forgetting where I have used the fill tool and where I have not used the fill tool and where it actually works. There we go. And then I'll go back up to this one. That's the right one. Gonna go back in with the dark green. There we go. And then I'm going to go in with a slight lighter. Just to add some highlights to it, just so it's not all dark green when everything else has like little bits of highlights. Lovely job. And then I should do the same for our skin color, which I might add a bit of pink. No, that's way too pink. Way too pink. Down, down, down by the river. That's gonna be stuck in my head forever. Hopefully it's not copyrighted. That's too light. Bit of purple. Because the face line, there we go. And then we can make that, or do we want to make it more purple? We might want to make some of it more purple, some of it more green. So, darker purple. There we go. Then some of it this green, but darker. And then the teethers, them again, lovely pearly whites. And the beanie green, but again a little bit darker. I clicked onto the wrong brush. Boopity bibbity boop bop, skiddly boop bop, ba-da. Yeah. I'm happy with how that's looking for now. Just gonna save. And then I'm gonna leave it for now so I can come back to it another time and see if I still like it. Because that's another good thing to practice, is walking away when you're not 100% sure on it, coming back to it and seeing how you feel. So for now, let's, oh yeah, my dark overlay. Ooh, that does look cool. Ooh, I do like how that looks. I'm going to be excited to do that later on. Going to go along and add in some extra layers here to be for this second drawing. But I might just keep that pretty simple for now. Do I want to go in I don't want to do this. I want to try and do something slightly different. Go in with a different type of brush, try a different style. Oh, well, that's underneath. Oh, I did another layer somewhere else. That's somewhere above the ones that I just did. And I'm gonna have lost it somewhere. Oh, oops. Somewhere out there is the layer that I drew these on. There we go. Go down, 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 down. There we go. Perfect. Just doing, again, kind of more of a rough, like adding in of the details. Maybe I could make her hair kind of like with a fringe, so it's like a cut up leaf. This is just kind of spitballing ideas for how she could look. I might change my mind on how I want her to look, or it could be like a second outfit idea that I'm not 100% settled on. Give her more leaf. No. Nope. I'm back. And again, my kind of chameleon art style of I can't stick to just one art style, so even my OCs don't always look the same in all the art that I draw, because I'm just like, oh well, this would work for this art and this would work for this art, but it doesn't look the same as this art even though it's the same character, which I think can be fun because it means I can try different concepts and things. But it could also be like, oh well, I would like my art to be somewhat consistent, so I can be like, yes, this is my character, this is exactly what they look like 90% of the time. Obviously some variation is fine, but on the whole you kind of want to have a consistent sort of look. Do-do-do, do-do-do. Making these ones look more like roses, maybe. So it's still flowers, but then this is just a lazy way to draw roses. It's just kind of a spiral. Or actually no, that ended up looking a bit not as nice as it does sometimes. Doodle-doo, doodle-doo, doodle-doo. There we go. And these ones being more like the buds. So it's kind of going to be like a progress of, this would be the closed bud at the end of the hair, and the next one up would be one that's slightly opening, and then opening a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, until it gets to the fully bloomed and opened flower up top. But then it also ends up looking like really cute bubble braids. was my idea for this look. Which I think can be a real cute look. Oop. Do I want to give her a hoge? That's also, I could just have a leaf. It's literally just going to be a leaf. A hoge. I hope I'm saying it right and that I'm not saying the sus version. I always get confused between them because they are very similar sounding. At least to me. So if I've said that wrong, whoops. Whoops. But if I said it right, hey. There we go. Then that one's kind of hidden behind her hand. That one's going to be one that's not even fully open. Boobity boo boo. Kind of rub out the inside of that. Or blah, 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 blah. Didn't like how that ended up looking. And then doo-doo-doo. There we go. At least that's it for the hairstyle. The eyes, kind of similar, but these ones are a bit more tilted upwards, giving her more of a little bit more of a sleepy look, a little more of an innocent, wide-eyed kind of look. If I get rid of the, again, this is just a rough idea. Give her some cute little blush. Maybe can give her freckles, which would also then be where the blue bits are. Oh yeah, that's underneath that layer anyway. And giving her like a flower belt. Loads of flower. Ooh, that ended up looking like a sword. Giving her loads of flower motif. And then again, making these bits of her dress kind of look like the petals of a flower. So it's like having a few, it's not, is it ellipses? Ellipses, whatever. Just folds, effectively. Folds, and then also go into the skirt, which also is going to look like the flower petals, and then the flower petals we have, keep forgetting to add, they're kind of similar to like what sakura flower petals have, like just the little, not exactly a cutout, but you get what I mean. There we go, boop-a-doo. And then these puffy sleeves, again, being like petals. Beep-a-doo, ba-la-la-la. Add in those. And then these are just going to be like chibi hands. Oh, if I can do. So, just boop, 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 boop. Get rid of that. Maybe extend the line a bit. Ooh. Extend the line a bit. That's not off center. There we go. extend. Get rid of the... See, and then they're just like cute, chubby little chibi hands, and I don't have to do too much detail on them because I'm getting tired. That's gone 11:30. I should probably finish up for now. I might just quickly wah 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 wah. Oops. La la la. Hands are going to be the start of my villain arc, I swear. If they don't want to sort themselves out. That'll probably have to do. Oh, forgot to add extra bits just for modesty. And then Whoops. Well, I ain't too bothered right now. Ain't too bothered. Getting rather tired. I'll do her shoes another time, but for now, not that one. Boo. Nope. Where's that one at? That one? There. That needs to go down. Shoo-la-la-la-la. So for now, that's how it's looking. She's looking pretty cool. Bloop. Bloop. And badoop. And then the extra outfit is looking pretty darn cute, if I do say so myself, and I do say so myself. Looking pretty heckin' adorable. But I am going to probably end stream here because it's rather late and I've got work tomorrow. So thank you everyone for coming, sticking around, or just chilling, lurking. All of it's appreciated. And VOD gang, mwah. Little fan servicey. But that's, I'm gonna have to stop myself. That's it for tonight. Thank you for coming. Bye 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 bye. Bye 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 bye. Good night, good night, good night. Or good morning, good afternoon. Whatever your time zone, good time zone. So, bye.